The favorites to win the 2025 Heisman Trophy are Arch Manning, Cade Klubnik, Garrett Nussmeier, and Jeremiah Smith, in that order. The only names who are under plus 1,000 odds are Arch Manning, Cade Klubnik, and Garrett Nussmeier. All of them are plus 900 or lower odds than that. I think Manning is plus 700 and Klubnik is, I think, plus 900 or plus 800, somewhere in there. And Smith's at like plus 1,300. Those are the favorites. I want to give you my Heisman Trophy prediction for 2025. I've made it. I'm very confident in it. I have not bet on it, but I would if I had more money or was a sports bettor myself. So let's get right into it. I am picking Cade Klubnik to win the Heisman Trophy this year. The logic behind this is Clemson has a very workable schedule. Klubnik has a 6-to-1 TD to INT ratio, and his receivers and offensive line are going to be better this year than they were last year. The defense will be better this year than last year, which gives him more drives and opportunities to score. Clemson returns 80% of their production, and Klubnik is a competent scrambling quarterback as well. He had 463 rushing yards last year, 7 touchdowns, and he had 3,639 passing yards, and again, 36 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, completed about 63% of his passes, and he has had the same offensive coordinator now, Garrett Riley, for 3 years in a row. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about this because I think that while that is the simplified with brevity reason, the returning production, the staff continuity, the fact that he doesn't turn over the ball much and just is a touchdown machine, and the schedule's easy, I want to dive a little bit deeper into it and give you more evidence. Before we resume this segment, please take a few seconds of your time to make sure you have liked the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell for the channel and for any team podcasts and playlists linked in the description, and also comment your thoughts down below in the comment section and join my Discord server via the description. All of those things I just asked you to do are completely free, and they sign you up for things related to my channel, or they don't sign you up for anything. No cost to you, and all the benefit to you because we release daily college football content here on College Football with Sam. If you want to support the channel monetarily, sign up for a YouTube membership or check any other links in the description for my merchandise store and Patreon page. Thank you very much, and let's get back to the segment. So, reason number one, to break it down into a few reasons here why Klubnik wins it, is, again, look at the schedule. So, you have LSU at home in week 1, and you're favored by 3.5. And I honestly think that part of the reason why Clemson isn't favored by more, outside of the fact that, along with LSU, they've disappointed in big games as of recent, is that I think a lot of people love LSU. Plenty of people love LSU, and a lot of people, I might even say the majority, like Garrett Nussmeier more than Cade Klubnik, which I strongly disagree with, but that's beside the point. That is a big game in week 1. Now, LSU's defense under Brian Kelly has never been anything better than average, or maybe above average, if you're looking at all the FBS. In the Power 4, Power 5 setting, it's never been anything above average, really. Matt House was a disaster, and while I think Blake Baker is good, last year they did not show as much progress as, let's say, USC's defense did, for example. Still think it should be improved, but is it really going to stop these Clemson receivers and this Clemson offensive line? Especially since they, I would think, lose in Bo Davis leaving and some of their defensive line talent departing. I don't know how solid they are on the line of scrimmage. And it's not just their defensive line. They lose Will Campbell and a ton of play, like Garrett Dellinger, for example, and others on the offensive line. Clemson brings back a lot there. That is a game where Clemson could lose, but it could also get ugly. I think the average simulation says that Clemson will win and probably cover the spread, in my opinion. It's a week 1 game in primetime. Klubnik maybe goes out there and just hammers LSU, and the Heisman hype's already begun. But what if that doesn't happen? What if they lose? Well, Clemson plays Troy in week 2. Perfect opportunity to light the sky, light up the scoreboard. It's the same week 3 at Georgia Tech. Tech has a good defense, but they do not have the personnel LSU or South Carolina do, who and those teams are the first page and last page of the book of the 2025 Clemson football season. Regular season, at least. There are a few chapters, hopefully, that will be written in the postseason. They should be able to at least score on Georgia Tech. They should score on Syracuse in Week 4. Off the bye in Week 5, they travel to North Carolina. Could be a difficult game with Belichick and some of the talent they bring in, but Clemson will once again have a talent edge there. They'll have a talent edge at Boston College Week 7, a talent edge against SMU at home in Week 8. Off the Week 9 bye, Duke is a defense that could cause some issues, but it's at home. That could be a night game or afternoon game, and even if it isn't, Clemson has the talent advantage there, so they should win. Florida State Week 11, that's going to be a more dominant win than it was last year for the Tigers. Louisville on the road in Week 12, it's a Friday night game, could give them some issues, but we'll have to see. Furman is a game where you're going to pull Klubnik after halftime or the third quarter and will still put up impressive numbers. South Carolina, another marquee game like Week 1 against LSU in Week 14. Could be a loss, could be a win. This team is going 12-0 or 10-2. Maybe there's a world where they go 3-9 or 9-3. Not 3-9. Do not quote that. Got it mixed up with 9-3. But they are, besides Penn State, one team where if you're going to tell me they can't go 9-3, they can only go 10-2 or better, I would believe you right there. They have a extremely high floor due to the schedule, how much they bring back, and the staff upgrades. Seriously, which defensive line, linebacker, and DB group will be superior to Klubnik's offensive line, tight end, wide receiver group? None of them. None of these teams will be better at those positions in a matchup with Clemson. And most of those teams, offensive line, tight end, wide receiver groups, will have to face hell on earth with Clemson's D-line, linebacker, and DBs. The only real safety valve, I think, for any of these teams against Clemson is quarterback, where Sellers beat them that way last year. If Nussmeier plays perfect and turns into LSU, Joe Burrow, you can't stop that. And look, Haynes King is a gutsy, really great quarterback. But I think the schedule plays in their favor. Klubnik is experienced, and he's drowning in it with his supporting cast. They're all seniors, juniors, some younger guys at wide receiver, but they proved themselves. So they're practically vets, and they're better than most vets nationally. He has the best wide receiver trio, to dig a little bit deeper into point number 2. So Ohio State has Jeremiah Smith, who had 1,300-something yards, and Carnell Tate had 700. First-round talents there. Smith will be likely round 1, pick 1 taken in the 2027 NFL Draft. But Brandon Inniss is a bit unproven. Same with Mylan Graham. Quincy Porter is a freshman at Ohio State who, yes, lost his black stripe, should be fantastic, but will he see the field that much this year, or will he be awesome this year? I don't know. And then they have Bryson Rodgers, too. Ohio State, if you take the best 1, 2, 4, 5, or 6 wide receivers, is better than Clemson. But you just take the best 3, and Clemson's actually more proven there. And I'm not saying that to disrespect Ohio State, because Ohio State has the best wide receiver core. This is more a further point of why Clemson will win the Heisman Trophy. Because to have 3 wide receivers of that caliber, and they get some back from injury, they're a deeper room than they were last year on top of having better starters due to progression and development. Again, who will be able to stop them? Who will be able to cover them? And assuming Klubnik makes a 2023 to 2024 jump from 2024 to 2025, I mean, you could see a guy who completes 70% of his passes and has a 8-to-1 TDI&T ratio, or a 7-to-1, for example, instead of just a 6-to-1, which are still ridiculously good. Klubnik also can run the ball, and he's produced Heisman moments like that run against Pittsburgh. That was a Heisman moment. Some of the drives he made against Texas were Heisman worthy. Nothing else was working. The run defense couldn't function. Clemson couldn't run the ball. Texas was abusing them on the line of scrimmage. Boop! Right over your best DB. Can't stop it. To an elite wide receiver group. And last but not least, Clemson could be elite this year. So in addition to the offense exploding, and an offense and a team that is winning a lot of games and is producing exciting football, and people are going to want to watch because they're hyped about Clemson and they're hyped about Klubnik, what if the hype about Clemson comes true? What if Clemson starts playing at a level that they did in 2020, 2019, 2018, or 2016, or 2017 if they had a quarterback that year, or 2015? What if they play at that level in a year that should be more down than 2024, which was probably the most down year in football in over a decade? What if? Then you're not just adding in his elite statistics, the elite film, again, potentially, but likely you're going to see one of those. The elite receivers, which are a known factor, how they match up with the schedule. You are going to see Klubnik and the idea of Clemson resurrecting the sport and resurrecting the idea of the greatest team of all time, because many say that that type of team is dead. That will be interwoven. The love of the idea of an undefeated powerhouse will be woven in with Klubnik. And then if they win the ACC championship game, at that point, how couldn't he win in the ceremony in New York? Last but not least, I want to project some of his stats and also give some other finalists that I have. So Klubnik passing is his regular season only, so 12 games. I think he'll have around a 69-70% completion percentage. Went a little bit more conservative there, but Clemson loves to run a lot of plays under Garrett Riley, which means efficiency can sometimes be a bit underrated. I noticed this last year when they were a top 15, top 10 offense in FPI, but in points per play, they were not even close there because they just run a lot of plays, for example. So I assumed because of that, the completion percentage may not be extremely high. I think that about 3,700 passing yards, 45 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. So that right there is a 9-to-1 TDI-INT ratio, and a QBR in the mid-80s. So he'll be top 10 in QBR, I think, this year for sure, if not top 5. And then running the football, I think he'll have 600 rushing yards and anywhere from 9 to 10 rushing touchdowns. The defense giving him more possessions to work with, and the offense and himself getting much better, means his statistical category should explode with how many plays they run. That's another reason why he should win it. With how many plays they like to run, the fact they are not worried about running up the score, the fact that the offense will be better than the defense, so they could get into some shootouts where Klubnik has to carry the team, all of those things with their talent means he is going to put up numbers on national TV. Some other finalists, I think second place will be Carson Beck. Again, ACC schedule with enough marquee games and enough talent surrounding him and an improved defense to where he won't be Cam Ward, but he will be good enough and lead his team to a good enough record, and I think make the ACC championship game where they will lose to Clemson to where he will get invited. He'll have a season much closer to his 2023 season than his 2024 season in my mind. Third place is Arch Manning. Now, in hindsight, part of me thinks maybe Manning should be ahead of Beck, but I think the style that Texas will play with this year, with what they return at running back and their defense, means that along with Manning really starting his first full year and maybe starting off a little bit clunky, you just have to factor that in. Beck is more of a known than Manning there. I think he'll make it to New York, but I don't think he'll win it. And then last but not least is Drew Allar. Allar will not have the same chance of putting up numbers as Manning, Beck, or Klubnik will, because his rushing offense will be much better than Texas, maybe not Miami, but again, tougher schedule than Miami, should have a better rushing offense than Miami, will have a better defense, so I could see Allar getting pulled early. And Penn State loves to run a very slow offense. Kotelnicki in general likes that. So they're going to run a lot of game control, run the football a ton. So I think Allar will be a finalist because Penn State's that good, and I think Allar will take that next step. But he's not winning it, and if you want to tell me that Julian Sayin or Jeremiah Smith or Lenora Sellers or Lagway, if healthy, there are so many other options that I think could replace Allar. But I have them there because I also have Penn State going undefeated, much like I do the Clemson Tigers. So I have Cade Klubnik winning the Heisman Trophy this year. I think he is the best choice. I think even though he is a top 3 favorite, I do think you get value with that play. With how much Clemson brings back, with the pretty moderately easy schedule they have, and the type of team and offense they run, Cade Klubnik should win the Heisman. Thank you for watching College Football with Sam. Make sure that you've liked the video, subscribed to the channel, hit the notification bell for the channel and team playlists and podcasts in the description, joined the free Discord server where we talk college football 24/7, and have commented your thoughts down below. Check out the description for any ways you can support the channel monetarily. Everything else I've asked you to do is completely free, and your support means the world to me. We're trying to become the next big thing on college football YouTube. 6-figure subscribers, maybe 1 million one day. I think we can do that. And also check out any videos or playlists, anything in these columns right here, where there will be videos and playlists. Yeah, you get the point. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next one.